Joining us now for a fair and balanced debate, Mary Catherine Ham, editor-at-large at hotair.com, also a Fox News contributor, and Simon Rosenberg, president and founder of NDN. It's a leading progressive think tank. He's a former Clinton campaign advisor as well. We brought you both on because you have differing views of the debate last night. Mary Catherine, you think it was essentially a draw?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was always going to be more contentious because in the first debate only one side was fighting, as many even on the left have said. So I think Obama was always going to come to the table with more this time, be more aggressive. I think Romney relies less on likability than Obama does, so I think there's more risk for him in coming after somebody hard in that way. But yeah, I do think it was mostly a tie. I think you see in post-debate polling, a slight win for Obama on the top lines, but when you look a little bit lower on issues like the economy and both the CNN and the CBS poll, a double-digit lead for Romney on how he handled that and the debt, which those are really important issues, and I'm not sure that a narrow second debate win overcomes those.
Simon, you wrote that you don't think Mitt Romney showed himself to be a strong leader last night. You think he hurt himself with this performance?
Yeah, I think on balance this was a very important night for Barack Obama. You know, he clearly won in every snap poll. He made his case on the economy and foreign policy that he didn't do very well in the first debate, and it was important for him to get his argument out there to voters trying to make up their mind. But I think the biggest thing that happened last night was that some of the more promising areas for Mitt Romney, the economic engagement, the Libya engagement, and the perception of him being strong and effective as a leader, all took hits last night. I mean, Barack did a lot of damage, I think, to Romney's economic argument. The Libya thing was an incredible fumble, and it's really going to be much harder, I think, now for the Republicans to use that in the next few weeks in the closing part of the election. And I think his performance, Romney's performance last night, was simply just not as good as the first debate. He looked confused at times. He was angry. I thought he looked a little tired on the air. And I think, you know, a lot of the strength that Romney got out of that first debate was the strong performance. It wasn't his arguments. It was the perception of him. And that took a little bit of a hit last night. So I don't think it was a good night structurally for Mitt Romney.
Well, we'll talk about that, Mary Catherine, because you just said that the snap polls show that Mitt Romney won the economic arguments.
Right. I mean, if he stumbled so badly on the economy, one wonders what the lead would have looked like in snap polling if he hadn't stumbled. It perhaps would have been in triple digits. But no, I do think that the snap polling shows that, in fact, that message was getting through. He had a couple of long answers, the 2-minute segments, where he was able to lay out what he would do with the tax plan, where he made a pitch to the middle class. I think it was very fluid. Those were some of his strongest moments. On Libya, I do think he walked down a road he shouldn't have. Candy Crowley has since said, yeah, he had a point on that. And I think the fact that we're going to talk about Libya for another couple days up to the next debate, which is foreign policy, does not bode well for Barack Obama, because he does have to deal with the fact that for 2 weeks they were misleading on this, and they had intelligence within 24 hours that they weren't telling us.
We heard a lot of talk about the economy last night, Simon. I mean, Mitt Romney made the point that the 5 million jobs that President Obama is talking about having been created in his term basically is only enough to keep up with population growth. It's not a stellar record to run on.
Look, I don't think Barack Obama is telling the American people that he's hit a home run on the economy. I think things were really bad. They're clearly getting substantially better, and they're clearly much better than when he took office. I mean, the country is clearly more prosperous, and we're much better off at 4 years later. And I think what's going to be a major factor in these final few weeks is that there is now a slew of economic data that's come out in the last couple of weeks showing that the economy is substantially improving. You know, we've had the unemployment rate come down. We had a huge housing number today. The deficit itself is 20% smaller than it was last year. And so I think the president's going to be able to say that, look, this has been a rough road. Like you said last night, it's been a rough road. Things are getting better. The Romney plan will take us backwards. It isn't where we want to go. And I think that even though last night, and I want to agree with Mary Catherine, that he may have won some of the economic engagements, in the overall polling, Mitt Romney is not winning the economic debate with the president. And I don't think last night was enough to ultimately change that as we head into the final weeks. And Mitt Romney has to win that to win the election, I think.
We have one more debate ahead. We'll see what that one does for this race. Mary Catherine Ham and Simon Rosenberg, thank you both.
Sure.
Well, the second debate is now in the